Hi, JemCon people. My name is Jessica, and since JemCon is virtual this year, I am contributing to sharing some stuff as storyboards and music video storyboards, mostly that I got from Will Minio, who worked on the Gem cartoon in the animation supervision, the storyboard departments. He came to a JemCon previously. He has some great stories about the production of Gem. What I have to share with you today, if you remember the very first couple of Gem episodes, are these tiny little bits made into a multi-part at the beginning. And I have part 2, and I have part 3. So that is part 2 is the challenge, and part 3 is the fire. So the challenge is really they find synergy. If you remember the first part, synergy was revealed. It was kind of scary, and then they go to the Starlight Drive-In, and then they have the competition where they show up and sing, and they challenge the Misfits. And then fire is sort of the aftermath of the their first performance, and again the challenge, and then Zipper coming to the original Starlight House and burning it down by accident. So so this first one again is the challenge. I'm going to do my best to show you here. I love how this storyboard was originally slated for July 8th, 1985. So that one's the first iteration of this. One of the things that's really interesting is in all of these, there's still so many revisions happening. Like if you've ever looked at the first few episodes, you're like, man, did they know what they were doing? Like maybe not, maybe not. Maybe they were still confused. There's a lot of names that are different. There's a lot that's taken out. In the first one, we sort of ended with this synergy appearing to Jerica and coming out of the earrings all scary looking. Well, we know she's not that scary. You can see exactly what I mean with the names. Here you have Shayna actually revised from Shonda. I also really wanted to show you, they were still editing. I love this. Out. There was apparently going to be a few seconds more of the drive to the Starlight Drive-In, and they just took all of that out. And I really want this stamp, this giant authoritative stamp that says out, because I could use it in my life. There's a lot of things that could get out easily. Oh, and this is interesting. So I just showed you synergy from some panels, but they actually hadn't really finished how they wanted to conceptualize her yet. So there are many, many panels where she's just sort of this floating face character. And there are even notes in here that tell the animators to double check the model, which is the animation model for which the action shot should be based on. And they're saying, check the model for synergy, because I don't think she's supposed to look like this anymore, which is really fun to me. This is fun. So again, this little teeny episode, the challenge ends with Gem and the hologram showing up at the contest, and they start singing It's Only the Beginning. And as you'll remember, the Limp Lizards are performing in that contest. And what I wanted to show you here, I'll move it over. Note, the end of Broken Glass should go here, but it is too long. Just sing a blank for now. Where is this long version of this song? Is it what I'm thinking of and that just seems long to animators, or is there more to Broken Glass? I'd like to think there is. Somebody wrote a whole song for Broken Glass. And so in the It's Only the Beginning music video, you can see here, she is still M, to reveal M, very briefly as M soars off the screen. The holograms come up. But again, this one's revised all over it, so she's also referred to as Gem pretty much throughout. Also, for any of you folks who have wondered how much the animators cared about the tech of synergy and holograms, I find this really interesting. In the middle here, this text is talking about how when the gem hologram goes away, how they want the clothes Jericho wears to be a similar silhouette, because otherwise it would be unrealistic to believe that the hologram could cover it. This seems to be something they abandon later in the series. As we know, lots of things don't seem to line up with what the hologram could do, but in any case. The last thing I want to show you in this storyboard, just because it frankly is one of the most dynamic things I've ever seen, is that shocking final shot where the Rockin' Roadster is going off the cliff. I just think this is real treat of storyboarding. This is showing you all the action they intend to have in this scene, the trucking motion of the camera. I believe it's called a truck. I'm not a camera person, but so that was the part 2 episode. And like I said, I have 2 here to show you. I'm trying not to be too long. I don't want to bore anybody. So again, the third part is fire. So this is essentially the orphanage being burned down. So yes, this is a file copy from Will Mineo again. And I just want to show you some interesting things from here. Really, in this episode, you get a music video of Winning is Everything from the Misfits. And some of this is as good as the animation that you get in the end. This is the opening of the song. When you start with winning is everything. I won't sing anymore, I promise. But that pizzazz is just visually stunning. And so much of this music video really drew me into Jem to begin with. You can see all of the arrows sort of indicate how the camera should be moving. And so in this first frame here, that's that big swirl effect, sort of how they're mesmerizing the judges. So it's really impressive. Also from this music video, I think everybody remembers Pizzazz popping out of a big football, and it's right here. It's right here. She's popping out of a football. Somebody had to draw that. I love this whole bit. I love, the football players stare dumbly at the giant football. I'm like, I would probably stare pretty dumbly at it too. I would not know what was going on. I certainly don't think I'd believe I was in a music video. Oh, how could I forget this part? So in episode Fire, this is also where Ashley steals money from the honor jar. Ashley, no. But one of the things I just think is quite funny is here names were hardly a thing. There's a lot of text here. I'm going to try and show you the whole screen. But you'll see a lot of Starlight Girl names are crossed out and written over, and Ashley, as of this time, was actually Robin. Robin. Did she grow up into pop superstar Robin? I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. She wanted to. And I love this. There's a recurring theme in this storyboard that Robin is being drawn in a halter top. And the folks supervising it are like, she's a child. She needs to wear a shirt, not a halter top. Sort of like a very polite, like, per my last email, please stop putting this child in a halter top. And just to prove my point, when she steals the money, she is still in this halter top, and the production people are mad. The production people are like, look at the model for Robin. She should have been a shirt, darn it, not a halter top. She's not pop music sensation yet. Fire has the infamous zipper knocking the lantern out of Kimber's hands. They used a whole page for that shot. I think it was really just timing. When you look through the whole storyboard, you'll see that sequences that are fast, they'll do everything they can to cram it on the page, but sequences that are impactful, they'll potentially just use a whole sheet to use it. Case in point, then after he knocks the lantern out of her hands, you actually have the sequence where the lantern flips end over end and it shatters, and there are sound effects of broken glass and sound effects of fire. And you have Zipper, who's running away towards the window, and he bursts through it, and then the flames come out. All this action going to be continued for the next episode. That's a lot of ums and things from me, but I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you enjoy your virtual JemCon. I am excited for next year in 2021 in Minneapolis.